Hi, really want to talk today about when recovery begins because I don't know about you, but I found that my eating disorders journey has been an awful lot about procrastination and self denial and deciding that it'll keep until tomorrow. So, when we talk about when should your recovery journey begin, it's been interesting to see how many people have emailed since we started Wednesday's Child and said, at what stage in my recovery should I be to attend your supportive supper? Or, when do I consider myself to be at the start of recovery? Or when would be the ideal time to begin to recover? Well, let me answer that now, today, in the moment. This is like saying, should you wait for a New Year's resolution to start over in your life? Absolutely, we all know that's not the case. You can start today, whenever you like. There is no reason to wait for a particular day in the calendar. So don't give yourself another reason to excuse why you haven't begun that journey with an eating disorder, because the truth is you'll never be ready. Starting recovery is always going to feel like hell. Why? Because that abusive relationship that your eating disorder has with you is, on the one hand, promising you a kiss and then giving you a good cuff around the head. That's how it works. It is like having a violent, abusive partner that will continue to lure it towards you and then push you away and hurt you. So you need to be away from that relationship as quickly as you possibly can. Procrastinating isn't going to help you. You will only continue to build up the excuses. So for every moment that you are building up the excuse about, well, actually I'm going really through quite a difficult, stressful time at work right now. So when I change my job, that's when I'm going to begin eating disorder recovery. Or I'm just going to have my summer holiday, and then after that, that's when I'm really going to concentrate on it. Or, my relationship is a bit kind of tested at the minute. So I think what I'll do is just give it a month or two, and then I'm going to go full on into recovery. Well, listen up. That's a bit like saying, yeah, okay, I know I have a broken leg, but what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait until, we've had that family holiday. So I'll drag that broken limb with me for a few weeks. And then when I come back, I'm going to change jobs. So I'll just wait until, and then when my child has moved to her school, that's when I will fix my broken leg. We all know we wouldn't do that. We would start to heal the leg now. So start to heal your brain and body today, in the moment. Embrace recovery. What I would say though is that for starting that recovery journey, there are a few things that perhaps, let's not call it that moment of procrastination, but in that build up towards really embracing that recovery journey, there are perhaps some things that you could do, you could put in place that are going to actually make sure that when you are fully involved in that recovery journey, you're doing so even more emphatically and doggedly determined. So a couple of things I would suggest is, as you're preparing to embrace that recovery journey, I would speak to the people that really matter to you. And I would say, I know you're perhaps going to not trust me to fulfill on this. I know you're going to doubt me. I know you're going to think that the wheels are going to fall off. But I really count on you. I really love you as a parent, as a family member, or as a friend. And I need you to help me in some way to help my recovery journey continue. Now, you decide with them what that looks like. That might be that person just has the greatest hugs in the world, makes the best tea, and will just listen. Or it may be that they make a mean lasagna, or they could give you, because they love cooking so much, they could give you a few hours cooking worship just to get you to, a cooking workshop to get you back into the love of feeding and eating and enjoying producing your own food. Whatever you think that individual can help you use as a tool in your recovery, have a conversation with them about it. So build that support crew. The other thing I would do is I would write yourself a list of what does success look like, and what are you going to remind yourself of every single day when the times are tough, because the times will be tough. So even if it's a list of 10 things you will do in the shitty moments, in the moments when your stomach is feeling bloated and you're questioning whether you've gained too much weight, or you're just not sitting well with how recovery is progressing at the moment, what will you do? Will you treat yourself to a magazine and run a warm bath? Will you pick up the phone to a friend? Will you allow yourself to rest with that slightly bloated stomach and put on a chick flick and say, actually, it doesn't matter? But put it down in writing. Make yourself accountable for your recovery journey and for all that the challenges will bring. And I suppose the other thing that I think is really important, and it's somewhat ironic given that I'm creating this video that will be shared on social media, I do think you should just like we've talked about support crew, you have to look at the other side of that and say who isn't part of that support crew to such an extent that they may be a negative force in your recovery. So social media, there are no doubt people that follow you. Actually, their voices, their comments, their dialogue at any one time just may not be helpful for you. And, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily actively in reverse of what you need to be talking about and hearing about with your eating disorder recovery. It could just be that these aren't people that you need to be around right now. By all means, pick some of the social media channels and support, like Wednesday's Child, that you think will be helpful in your recovery too. But actually, if you can't vet it, come off it. There's no harm in doing that. Live some real relationships. Rediscover friendships. Rediscover family relationships. Make that time about what's best for you and you alone. This is your recovery journey. We know it's not going to be easy. We know it's going to be long. But by God, do you need to embrace it. Do not procrastinate it. Start today, in the moment, now. And let us know how you get on.